the American westerns start. And we go on and on and on with music and cow and ladies and Indians. And after we have to arrive at the gunshot, final gunshot. Every 3-4 minutes in my movie have to be a gunshot. So we have to create character that do that. This was his imagination. It was right.
In America, the convention was you could never show in the same shot. Someone pulls a gun, boomf, and shoots them. You always had to have a cut. This was a long, long convention in Hollywood that went back to the Hays Code. You couldn't tie together the weapon and its effect. In every movie. Leone didn't know anything about that. So he just has people pulling guns, boomf. And suddenly everyone, oh, you can do that, you know. So Americans start presenting violence in that way. So he has a huge impact there.
Get 3 coffins ready.
Huh? He also created one of, you know, the greatest screen icons in the history of cinema, Clint Eastwood. If he was going out to do his version of the John Ford movies, well, he actually is the only director to really compete with Ford when it came to creating his own icon. The way Ford created John Wayne, you know, he created the actor to finally replace John Wayne in the histories of and the annals of cinema.
My mule. You see, he got all riled up when you fired those shots at his feet.
It's a new kind of hero. It's not a hero that you identify with. It's not a hero you're supposed to look up to. It's a kind of style statement. You know, he's the hero because he's fastest with a gun, because he looks the most stylish, and it's a hell of a design thing. I mean, a very Italian sense of design in all these costumes that they wear. And he's just cool, super cool.
I don't think it's nice, you laughing. You see, my mule don't like people laughing. It's the crazy idea you're laughing at him. Now, if you apologize like I know you're going to, I might convince him that you really didn't mean it.
Clint hated smoking those little cigars. I think he'd get nauseous, you know. But it was established and he had to keep doing it, you know.
My mistake. 4 coffins.
Fistful of Dollars was an immediate success in Italy and soon became the first Italian Western to be distributed in America, where it appeared under Leone's real name. For the follow-up, Leone cast Lee Van Cleef as a charismatic co-star for Eastwood. At the time, Van Cleef had all but given up acting, was drinking heavily and making a precarious living as a painter.
He was amazing at casting, I think, and suddenly turned them into something that Hollywood had never imagined. You know, Lee Van Cleef had made, you know, countless films as the second baddie from the left, and nobody noticed, you know, in High Noon, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. But Leone didn't forget, you know, something about that profile. Same with Eastwood. He really had a gift for, you know, how people look and how they'll come over on the screen.
Hey, mister, you just can't pull the emergency cord and jump off. Tell me, why'd you stop that train? If you want to get off, you... Well, the railroad company would be mighty pleased to make any arrangements for any passenger if you want to get off here, sir.
I did get off. Thanks.
At the opening of For a Few Dollars More, the biggest theater in Rome, 2,500 people, we were scared to death. I was near him with stands, because no seats for nobody. And my hand was there, and suddenly one hand grabbed my hand. The moment when the title started, it was Sergio. And when the first start scene, the audience come crazy, it was an applause, and we win.
By the time The Good, the Bad and the Ugly went into production, international success meant that his budgets had risen to the point where Eastwood's fee of $250,000 was more than the entire budget of Fistful.
There was a degree of realism in his movies, as surrealistic as they were, that was always seemed to be missing from the Hollywood Westerns of the 30s and the 40s and the 50s.
He said, I will approach the Western in another way. I will not dress them as they do in all the American Westerns. I'll go back to Matthew Brady's Prince, and I'll dig out these long dusters that the men wore in the picture, and the clothes. He did wonderful things like all the military men are posing for pictures just as I'm being led to get on the train.
One of the most wildly in particularly crushing weird things in the history of cinema is after going through this incredible journey in The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, where we've fallen in love with Eastwood and we've fallen in love with Wallach, and we just have to assume that they've committed some bond with each other, that they would still screw each other over at the end. You actually think that he might just hang Tuco at the end of the movie, and it's so crushing. Can't you guys feel towards each other the way we feel towards you?
You're joking, Blood. You wouldn't play a joke on me like that. It's no joke, it's a rope, Tuco.
Clint was a wonderful guide for me, particularly when they were going to blow up the bridge. He said, don't go anywhere near explosives. You never know what's going to happen.
Are you sure?
Yeah, sure, I'm sure.
Most of the soldiers were Spaniards who were loaned by the Franco government to the film to play Civil War soldiers. They built the bridge, and the captain, a Spanish army captain, put the dynamite around so that it would blow up. And the Italian scenic designer said, listen, I'm so pleased with your work. I would like you to put the two wires together and blow it. So when I say, vaya, go, you do it. The Italian scenic specialist said to an assistant, vaya, meaning set that camera moving. And the captain, thinking he said vaya for him, put the two wires together. And Leone was looking up at the sky like this, looking for the clouds to go by him, and the bridge blew.
Tonino Delli Colli turned to him and said, I didn't shoot anything. I was standing here. What should we do? And Sergio said, let's go for lunch.